our function block stuff because we're tired of looking at that. And let's see, we've already got all of our stuff done in main here, right? So yeah, I think I can even close out our main. Don't need to look at it. And let's pull up our HOA SCL. And we're going to want to look at our IO SCL because we're going to want to finish that stuff off as well right up here. So first, let's get into our HOA. So what do we want to do? Well, we want to set our HOA values first and foremost. So when, if, and we're looking for that push button now on the VFD. So we're looking for oil pump off push button. Where is it? Here we go. Off push button. Then, and here's where we're going to set that value. So oil pump HOA colon equals 0 semicolon and end if and semicolon. Okay, so we've got part of that. If the oil pump push button was pressed, then we want to go ahead and set a 0. And let's copy that and paste twice, because aside from the off, we also want to look at hand and we want to look at auto. And we want to set the values 1 for hand and 2 for auto. Now we also have another condition, remember, where we would want to set a 0, and that is if we're out of range. So let's put one more if statement in here. I'm going to Control C, and I'm going to put that at the very beginning. And I'm going to say if, and I want to look at that oil pump HOA, and I want to say if it's less than 0 or, and let's take that same thing, our oil pump HOA, and say if it's greater than 2. So if either one of those conditions is true, it's less than 2, it's less than 0 or greater than 2, meaning it's out of range, then we want to set that to 0. Otherwise, if somebody pushes the button, then we want to set that equal to 0. And the last thing is, we want to do that on a positive trigger. And the tricky way to do a positive trigger in here is I'm just going to say and we're going to look for the oil pump HOA, and oil pump HOA is not equal to 0. Okay? So the first scan that this happens on, it's going to say, hey, someone's pushing the button and this HOA int is not already equal to 0. It's going to set it to 0 immediately and go on. On the next scan, it's going to say, well, the button's still down, but, well, the HOA pump VFD HOA is equal to 0, so it's not going to repeat this step. Okay? So let's copy that and portion, and I'm going to paste that into both of these. And we're going to look for this to not be equal to 2 on the bottom and not be equal to 1 for the hand in the middle there. Okay, so now we've got a valid control, a valid HOA control for that. Let's copy the whole block, come down here, and give ourselves 3 more copies of this. And we don't really have any good documentation on this, so I can go ahead and put some in there. Let's say oil pump VFD HOA controls. All right, and let's copy that, and we're going to paste another one of those right here, another one of those right here, and one final one right down. Actually, what am I looking at here? Is that where I want it? Yeah, right there. Okay. So the first one is for our oil pump. The second one is going to be for our brake. So here we go. Let's take we want our brake HOA. And I'm going to copy that brake HOA. And I'm just going to paste it here, 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 and here. And then we want to look for our, one more place. A couple more places actually. I want to paste it here, here, and here. And now let's set our push buttons. So that's going to be our auto. That's going to be our hand. And that's going to be our off. And it looks like I missed pasting the brake HOA into one place. There, the brake one is done. Let's come over here and set our alarm horn. So, alarm horn in the notes. And let's get that HOA right there. Control C to copy. Paste, 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 and paste. And then let's set our buttons. So alarm horn off push button, alarm horn hand push button, and alarm horn auto push button. Great, the alarm horn is done. Last one, and that's station interlock. All right, and let's get the HOA for that guy right there. Copy it, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pastes, and knock out our push buttons. We've got off, we've got hand, and we've got auto. Okay, so look at that. I accidentally deleted one of my slashes. Okay. That looks good. We've got all 4 of those HOAs set up. Now we just need to incorporate that into our I/O logic. So digital outputs, here we go. We're setting this value equal to 1. And we need to have some logic now that will set it to 1 and set it to 0. So let's give ourselves a little bit of room here to work. And let's start off saying if we're going to look for the HOA for the oil pump. So if the oil pump HOA equals 0, then, and here's where we want to set that equal to 0. We want to actually reset that essentially. And let's see, we're looking for our energize out. There it is. That's going to colon equals 0. So that if we are in off mode, that guy is going to be reset. And if semicolon. And then we need some logic to turn it on as well. And we might end up combining some of these conditions. We'll see. So what if the HOA is equal to 1? Well, then we want to set that to 1. And one more. what if it's equal to 2? Well, then we want to set it to 1 if we are also energizing the control bit. So and we're going to look for that control, oil pump VFB control. So if the HOA is in 2 and we have the control, then we want to set it to 1. And we have one more possibility, and that is if we're in auto mode and we're not energizing the control bit, then we want to set to 1. Okay? So here we go. So we're saying if the HOA mode is set to 0, then we want to de-energize. Now, we also have another way that we can combine this logic. It's going to make it a little bit messier, but let's go ahead and do it. So I'm going to copy that, and let's say if the HOA is equal to 0, or parentheses, this stuff right here is true, then we're going to set to 0. And I just eliminated that block right there. What about setting it to 1? Well, we've got two conditions down here that are working together. So let's Control C, copy that. So we're going to say if this HOA is equal to 1, or parentheses, all of this, then set it equal to 1. And now we can eliminate all of that logic. So now we just made this a whole lot shorter and sweeter. So I'm going to get rid of these temporary assignments here because we're not going to need those anymore. And let's go ahead and create some more good logic. So we want 3 more of those. We've got 2 for the oil pump. So now we need to look at our brake HOA. And let's copy that and replace all the HOAs with that. All right, and okay, I think that's all of them. And now we want to look for the brake control bit, which is there. And we want to look for the brake out, for that, and for that, okay? So that all looks like brake, and here we need that brake control bit also. Okay, so there we go. I think our brake is done. Let's come down here and look at our alarm. So we want our alarm horn HOA, copy it, paste it, paste it, paste it again. We want our alarm horn control bit, copy it, paste it, and then we want our alarm horn out bit, copy it, paste it, and done with the alarm horn. Well, last but not least is our station interlock. Let's get that HOA, copy and paste, paste, paste. Let's take that station control bit, copy it and paste it one time. And then let's take our station output bit, copy it, paste it, and woo, look at that. I think we've got all that stuff in there. Yeah, that's the way we like it.